While Ranelagh Primary School in East London doesn't have a plethora of rich parents, it does have an enviable reputation for raising money. We discover its secrets for success and hear tips from 4 fundraising experts. In this programme, we look at how schools can increase income from their local business community. It has to start with promoting the right school ethos, suggests Ranelagh's head teacher, Angela Tapscott.
Should we ask Miss Tapscott the question? Yeah?
Businesses don't like to give money to schools that have a bad name or a bad reputation. So the more positive the reputation you have in the local area and within the locality and with different people, the more chance you have of fundraising. Ranelagh's not in a particularly affluent area, and the parents aren't necessarily always in positions to help through their business, but they will always know somebody who can.
Ah, schlecht. Schlecht.
Fundraising for extras such as a foreign trip often falls on the school workforce.
The teachers in the school know how important it is to fundraise too, and they're encouraged to go and find money for their own areas or their own interests. So I won't ever say, no, you can't do something, or you can't take part in a particular project. I just encourage them to go and find their own funding if the school doesn't have any.
Okay, so I applied for some money from a company about funding to take children on a trip all the way to Germany. So children just like you get a chance to go and visit children over there, and there you get a chance to come back and see us in our school here.
Wherever possible, the school must try and link in with what the potential supporter is going to do for them. If you can identify something specific that you want to raise money for, that you think would fit into their corporate social responsibility, the better.
Part of Ranelagh's success in fundraising is down to the school manager, whose very job security rests on her fundraising prowess.
When I appointed Zena Smart as the business manager, I made sure that in her contract it stipulated that she needed to fundraise and save the equivalent of her annual salary.
The head teacher, Angela, is very canny, she's very competitive, and consequently she's made all the staff competitive as well. So now the teachers are competing against one another to see who can bring in the best funding.
Each week, Zena Smart has a meeting to update her head on current fundraising activities.
How's the fundraising going?
Well, I'm off to the undertakers in a minute to see Jean, see if they're going to give us some more money towards the summer fair. Also going to be seeing Tamir from Riso, and hopefully I know that I can maybe get a lot more out of him.
Yeah, many charities and schools just appeal to the people that they think are related to the school, like the suppliers and the catering suppliers and people like that. Any sort of profession can be of help.
Initially, Zena had reservations about approaching a funeral parlour, but realised they were an integral part of the local business community.
Morning, Jean.
Morning, Zena. How are you?
I'm all right, aren't you?
Yeah. Sit down. What can I do for you this morning?
Oh, well, it's that time of year again, Jean. We've got the summer fair coming up, and I wondered if you'd sponsor one of the rides. The teacup ride. You know, the one for the little ones.
The little twiddly thing?
Yeah.
Explain what the money is going to be used for, because people like to know where their money's being spent.
Yeah, I can sort that out for you, no problem at all.
Oh, that's marvellous.
When do you want the money?
You. Well, as soon as possible, really.
Yeah.
So why is Jean so willing to part with cash?
Both my children attended Ranelagh, nursery and up to secondary school. I've lived here for the last 14 years, and it's my local school.
Back at school, Zena is meeting businessman Tamal Saha, whom she first met when she bought an eco-printer from him. He's now a regular donor.
We got together and our relationship as a business link grew, and I've been working with them ever since.
Both Zena and Angela understand how schools have to change in their working with businesses, and their openness and their point of wanting to see how they can benefit us and listening to my requirements as well as me listening to their requirements. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the three of us, I think, being in that frame of mind.
They need to know what they are going to get out of it rather than what you are going to get out of them, and feel that you are doing them a service as opposed to them doing you a service.
In the past, Zena has helped provide publicity shots for Tamal's sales brochures. Now, it's payback time.
Right, Tamal, so the summer fair is going to be coming up.
Yeah.
And I know in the past you've helped us towards paying for the rides. I was wondering whether you'd be prepared to help us out again.
Well, definitely. I think the promotion that you helped for our brochure and all the photographs of the children, that has gone national now. So everybody talks about Ranelagh, not just in London, but throughout the UK. And the least we could do is, fund the fair for this year.
Oh, lovely.
And we do want to make it an ongoing thing. So definitely you can count on us for the next few years.
Say thank you. That's the most important thing with fundraising, but say it in an appropriate way. So if they've sponsored an event, make sure you send them photos of the event or, a nice letter from the kids, that sort of stuff.
Quite often we take photographs of the event, what the money's been used for, and we send photographs to them by email to say, look what we've spent your money on.
While Tamal and Zena met through a business deal, a more usual route is through parent contacts, says Jane Galbraith.
You should never really cold call. You've got a fantastic resource when it comes to your parents, so you should always try and tap into those first and foremost. Always understand your parent body, who they work for, where they shop, where their partners, husbands, mums, dads, where they put their local business, and make them the point of contact. So you're never really having to cold call. You can actually get somebody to go in and make that personal ask for you.
What you have to remember is a lot of local businesses either have students at your school or maybe they have come to your school themselves. Therefore, they are more than willing to help out.
The most important thing is to know what the profession is of the parents, the ex-pupils, the grandparents, everyone that's associated with the school. If you know that, then you're halfway there. I gave a talk in London recently. There are 198 business managers there, and only 3 of them knew the professions of the children's parents.
We have tried to contact our parents to find out what their businesses are. We usually write a note in the newsletter before a main event, just saying, do you own your own business? Would you like to help the school? But we don't often have much of a response from that, so we don't actually know what their businesses are.
PTA activist Katie Ward has come to Ranelagh to learn how to raise more money from local business. One money-spinning idea has already caught her eye.
If I could get a local business to maybe donate the money to buy this candy floss machine for us, it would be fantastic.
So can expert fundraiser David Poppitt help Katie raise money for buying that candy floss machine?
Right, Katie, we're ready to start now, I think. Do you know the main contact people at the companies that you want to approach?
No, I don't.
Well, that is actually quite key to the whole thing, to actually identify an individual. You do it quite simply by a telephone call and ask whoever answers who's the best person to talk to. They'll do their best to avoid that wherever possible, but if we can get that information, then that's great.
It's really, really important that you send your letter to a specific contact at a business. Forget writing Dear Sir or Madam, because they're nearly always ignored, if not just thrown away immediately.
It's just a matter of asking who probably the main person is in HR. Once we've got that, then we can address that person in particular when we come to write the letter.
If you explain why you're wanting to write to them, they will give you the correct person to contact, and even better if they'll put you through to the correct person, because you can have a kind of informal chat before you send anything.
Now the letter itself has got to be fairly brief, probably a single-page letter or 2-page letter or something like that.
Write a short summary, about a page, plenty of pictures just stating exactly what your project is and how you'll support them as well.
Every company has what they call a corporate social responsibility. It's the buzzword these days in that. And most of their websites actually have a particular section on corporate social responsibility. So you can go to that and actually focus on what they've done and how they've helped.
And then you need to carry on doing your research into what they've kind of supported in the past. So what kind of projects they've given money to, or what areas they're interested in, and see how they link to what you're trying to raise money for.
Now, how would I start my letter?
I always start a letter like this. I'm writing to you because I know that you're interested in corporate social responsibility. That is a key one. CSR, they call it, as I'm aware that you have supported charitable causes. And then at that point, you go on to say the name of the school.
Right.
Yeah, okay. What your particular project is. If you are a charity, then always state the charity registration number.
Okay.
If a PTA has an income of over £5,000, then they should be registered as a charity, and it's always important to portray that public badge very clearly, particularly if you're raising money with local businesses. Always remind the local business that you're doing this for the benefit of others.
And then when you come to the end, you say, I look forward to hearing from you soon, and hopefully that will key them to respond. If they don't respond within a fortnight, you're back on the phone to them.
You shouldn't be shy about following up with them. You can give them a call, or if they're really local, just pop in and see them. That's probably all they need to jog their memory, you know, why you approached them in the first place.
If you get in a face-to-face appointment, you're 80% of the way there.
Canny school leaders recognise that income can be raised from offering local businesses valued services.
Why shouldn't local businesses use our facilities for training, for development? We have rooms that they can use for conferences, we can cater for them, and so on and so forth.
Now that we've got the new extended building, we are letting our building, but only for business meetings, conferences, during the day when it's not being used by the extended school children. That raises quite a considerable amount of money.
Do the local solicitors need a room to meet in? Do the local drama society need the theatre facilities that's there? Do the local five-a-side football team need somewhere to practice? All these aspects are associated with the school and can be involved with the community.
So is there one special tip for successfully fundraising from local businesses?
My one tip for would-be fundraisers would be to approach anything as a partnership, so constantly thinking about ways in which you will support them while they're supporting you, and always invite them in if you can to see your project before it happens, because this way they'll really get engaged and they'll more likely to say yes to supporting you.
Remember that you put a lot of money into the local economy with suppliers and so on and so forth. Do not be afraid to approach them for sponsorship back.
My top tip probably is that you should give back as much as you get from the local businesses, because you want the relationship to be long lasting and not just a one-off.
It's really important to say thank you, because obviously we are grateful for any money that the school receives.
If you've got a parent who works for a company that does company match giving, then please make sure that you put them on the most profitable stall. It's probably going to be the beer tent or the admission gate, but make sure you put them on the most profitable stall.
The best thing to do is understand exactly what the business does and offer them something that they want as well as something you want. And if you can do it, you'll be fine.